In this video, I'm going to share the 3 biggest mistakes that I see companies make when marketing on Meta. These are also all mistakes that I myself have made, so I've got first-hand experience of losing money trying out these tactics. Now, I'm going to share exactly what to do to avoid them, so make sure you watch all the way to the end. It's going to be a super short, actionable video. So the first one is changing campaigns too quickly. Now, I have a whole nother video where I spoke about this, but essentially when you're going into Meta every day and you're changing things left, right, and center, you have no idea what's working. You have no time to actually see what is a consistent result. If you're running a campaign for a day, 2 days, 3 days, you're just like turning off, trying something completely separate, testing creatives all over the place, testing audiences, doing all this random stuff, maybe testing like 4, 5, 6 different products. If you're doing all of that, especially if you have a small starting budget, there's just no way of knowing what is going on. You're going to be completely lost. The data is going to show very conflicting things because you're going to get great results for like a day and then terrible results and then great results again. It's going to be up and down. There'll be no consistency. There'll be nothing that if you actually look at it from a business perspective, you would be able to say, right, I'm going to make this decision or that decision. It would just be all completely all over the place and you'd feel lost. Okay, so do not change things too quickly. I have been guilty of this myself in ad accounts, just trying my best to make something work and just changing loads of stuff, and it just has the complete adverse effect. So you need to create a plan, you need to have clear numbers, you need to run things for long enough to actually get an outcome that is definitive. And one day of running an ad is not definitive. So you need to actually see, okay, is my CPA, is that a lead or a sale, whatever your CPA is that something that is favorable? Is it in line or is it out of line but it's consistent? Is every day I get 20% above my target, but I get it every single day. Okay, now we can bring it down. Rather than one day it's amazing, one day it's bad. So I've done a whole nother video on this, but I just thought I would touch on that point because it's a massive one that I see inside of ad accounts. The second one is not actually focusing on the brand and the business as a whole. So a lot of people see Facebook as this kind of golden bullet for making money and making their brand work. If your brand doesn't function properly, if you don't have a USP, if you're not making sales, if you don't have something that people actually want, amplifying it out to more people is not going to solve your problem. Think of paid media as just a way to get your brand in front of more people. Now you can do that correctly, you can do it incorrectly, and there's a lot of kind of nuances to it, but fundamentally you're just expanding the message that your business promotes. If your business fails to be unique, fails to be competitive, fails to actually provide people with a product or service that they want and desire, you're going to have a very hard time trying to sell it to people in a very competitive landscape. So focus on improving your brand metrics. Also focus on things like lifetime customer value, average order value, things that are going to increase your revenue, profit margin. The higher your margins, the higher your lifetime value of a customer, the higher your average order value, and the quicker all of those things materialize for your business, the better you're going to be when you're running paid media, because it has a cost to it and it is expensive. If you're paying an agency as well, you've got to factor in their fees. There's a lot to consider and you need to make sure those numbers are super clear. The final thing that I see, and I see this way too often, is not enough tracking. There are brands that we speak to, we audit and we onboard as clients who are spending a lot of money per month and they just don't have accurate tracking. They come to us and they're like, we don't actually know. We think it's working. When we spend more, we kind of get more sales. When we spend less, it kind of dies off, but we don't actually know really what's working. We don't have a system. We don't have a tracking platform. Now, there's many forms of tracking. There's on-platform tracking, and I've got videos on this channel talking about how to set that up. So, if you're running Meta ads, it's things like you need to set the conversions API up. You also need to have the pixel events firing. There's multiple ways to do that depending on your channel and your platform that you're using. There is off-platform tracking as well. So things like actually having a Google sheet that shows you, hey, sales, revenue, spend. Do these things correlate? When I spend more, am I seeing a trend of making more money? When I spend less, am I seeing a trend of making less money? And actually having that plotted out on a graph and on a spreadsheet is super important for brands. Complete with a notes section so we can see, okay, on the 12th of December, I made this change. On the 15th of March, I made that change. What impact did it have on the business? Okay, these are really important things. And I'm talking about big changes, not just tiny little ones, but we launched a whole new set of creatives, or we switched to a different product that we're promoting or whatever. Those are things that we want to see the impact of. So we need to log the actions that we took and then see the correlation over on the actual results side and not just what Meta is saying. The last one, obviously, in terms of tracking is you can use third-party platforms. So again, on this channel, I've got videos talking about Hyros and also talking about TripleWow. These are great third-party tracking attribution platforms. They each come with their pluses and minuses. They're great tools. We leverage them for our clients. I would recommend looking into them, especially if you're scaling up your ad spend, because it will give you the ability to have a little bit more clarity on what is and isn't performing. These are things you can look into, but ideally you want to have all three at a certain point. So even for our clients where we're using high risk and triple whale, I'm still reporting everything on a Google spreadsheet to get that ultimate clarity. And we're still using best practices for Meta to actually get the data as well, because that's how it's going to optimize. Remember, Meta can't see the results in your spreadsheet, and Meta can't see the results in triple whale. They're going off the data that you feed back into it. So somehow you need to make sure that they have the best data if you want the campaigns to optimize in the best way. So I hope this helps. 3 things I see people doing wrong. Like I said, I've made these mistakes myself. Hopefully you can avoid them by watching the video. If you want to work with me and my agency, there's a link in the top of the description. Book a call. We can see if we're a good fit. Please also like and subscribe to this video. It helps me out a ton. And I'll make more videos like this soon. Thanks.